Hey there, everyone. Steve Gonzer, physical therapist and six-time Boston Marathon qualifier, all that stuff. Yesterday I jumped on live and I talked about the fact that it's a time of year where a lot of people are going to be getting into the swing of things. They're going to be starting their training plans. But I want to make sure that you guys recap on that quick before I introduce this new thing about strength training. Is that when you are going to be going into your training plan, you should roughly be running about 60% of your mileage for the max. So for example, if you are going to run 50 miles a week in your training plan, you should be averaging 30 plus or minus 2 miles a week to be able to start that training plan and stay healthy. When we don't train and we kind of like get into the December funk with parties and beer and cookies and all that stuff, it's easy to let the running go and then you get hurt pretty quick. And I see that a lot in the clinic. The one thing I want to talk about real quick tonight is training plans again, but I want to talk about strength training this time. And I put in the post that you should be strength training. Yes, I know you don't like to, chances are, and you would rather be running, but it is critical. I always talk about runners over 40 because that's really the group of people that I work with the most, 40, 50s, and 60-year-old runners. And as you get older, it is even more and more important to have some strength training. So what I generally recommend is that people spend maybe if you're running 5 days a week and drop down to 4 for one strength training workout, that's great. If you're running 3 or 4 days a week, I just suggest adding a time per week. You don't want to be 3 times a week and cut completely out and then I'll be running 2 times a week and adding strength. You need that consistency, but I'm going to show you how we do it. I'm going to run you through our training plan and show you stuff, and I'm going to talk about the exercises that you should really be focused on to get the most bang for your buck, because again, you'd rather be running and not strength training. So how do you get the maximum gains? So I'm going to go ahead and flip my camera around. I'm going to be pretty raw here. I'm not going to do a screen share or anything. So this is our the RunSmart website. So I'm just going to build a training plan. So let's say you're going to run a half, wrong one. Problem going live. We're going to do a half marathon plan, and let's just say you're running, I don't know, something in April. We'll say April 7th. And let's go back. We don't have enough time. April 21st. And we generally have a 14 or 16 week plan. I just didn't pick far enough out. So we'll just say a 14 week plan. I'm in the States, so we'll go miles, and let's say we have 30, 40, 50, and 60 mile plans. You want to run 30 miles per week. So on our plan, I'll show you real quick. Our 30 mile week plan ranges from 18 to 30 miles, and it's 4 to 5 runs per week. That consistency is really important. Next, this is how we customize our training plans for everybody. Sunday, and then we have this little toolbar that you can actually adjust your speed workouts. So if you're someone who's like me, and I can tell you right out of the gate, let me know in the comments if this is you or if you're training for half. But I love distance and I dread speed. And it's just because I've been doing distance for so long. But it's definitely my nature to tolerate distance runs more. So we put this little feature into our training plans. I'm going to go to the strength plans in a second, where you can adjust down and make things easier or harder. And just for the sake of it, I'm just going to put that the plan is to run a 2-hour, well, this is what most people do. I do this. They want to break 2 hours. And what we do is we punch it through some math, build a structured training plan for everybody, and go from there. So once this builds, it's building, let's go to the plan, which is going to start in a week. So you'll see right out of the gate, we have a lot of base training up front. Make sure that you're doing that in your training plan as well. But let's go to Monday. Let's see if I have what in there for cross training on Monday. I'm going to go through, and we have this program called Basics Day 1. And I want to talk you through what the importance of that Day 1 is, and then go from there. So if I just open this up in a new window, ours is just a 30-minute strength workout. You can see it's 30 minutes and 38 seconds. That's really key. I think you really do need about 30 minutes to get a good strength workout in. And this is day 1 of 12, but let me talk you through what this workout's going to focus on and how you should really be using this in your own strength plans, because it's really important that you, again, get the most bang for your buck in your training. And what I would recommend is this. You want to be early in your training plan focused on hip strength and core strength. And how do you do that? It's not by doing clamshells. It's not by doing leg lifts. It's not by doing crunches. You want to be really focused on a lot of planking, dynamic planking, where you're planking, you're lifting a leg or another leg. And for hip strength, a lot of single leg activity, even a really good squat that a lot of people don't do well, is super important for your strength training. And the key thing though is to be focused on hip and core strength. And then what we tend to do as your plan goes on is we recommend working your way down the chain. What that means is you go from working on core and hip strength down to balance, knee strength, ankle strength, but you really want to start up top, because the one thing that we know is about 80% of runners are hurt every year, but a lot of that is linked back to weak hips. So if your knee hurts, chances are it's the hip. If your ankle hurts, chances are it's the hip. And the reason because the hip is the primary guy that should be supporting these. It's the biggest muscle group. So when it's not strong, it tends to leave the little guys out to dry. And we see this over and over again in the clinic. So the key thing, just to recap, is that 60% of your mileage is super important before you start your training plan. The next thing is you should be strength training. We do our plans. I'll kind of go back to this. Our plans are gonna have this says 3 days of cross training. One of them is actually a little bit of a rest day, but we have let's see what this one is. This is just a typical cross training, like a spin class or elliptical, and then we have cross training here, which is some foam rolling actually. So we have one strength workout this week, but I can tell you in the next one we have 2 in the following week, and so on. So these are all, I think these are all videos as well. There they should be, and we kind of teach you how to do the foam rolling and the maintenance part of it in your training. But don't neglect your strength training, especially early in your training plan, because your mileage is lower. You have more time. Your chances are a little bit more dedicated early on, and it's really important you do that. Now, if you'd rather just have me build you a plan, check out the link in the post. You can try this all out for $1. It's runsmartonline.com/train, and you get access to all these training plans, all these strength workouts, all this information for just $1 if you'd rather have just me do it for you. We built this really cool tool that you just saw that builds a complete training plan customized to your goals. Hopefully this helps you. I'll be live all month talking about things. So if you have questions, drop them in the comments. I will make sure to cover them in my next live, which will probably be tomorrow. And then if you're interested in me doing this for you, runsmartonline.com/train. Have a great night, everybody. Talk to you soon.